we will try our best to ensure that this anti-people budget is not passed by the National Assembly. In the event that Kenya Kwanza uses its hired majority and passes the bill as it is, we want the people of Kenya to understand that it is Kenya Kwanza's bill. It is the Kenya Kwanza's budget. It will be Kenya Kwanza strangling Kenyans. We will instruct our members of parliament to have nothing to do with it. The mischief is hidden everywhere across the bill, but we will highlight a few. 1. Turnover tax. Currently, turnover tax, that is, tax based on sales, is applicable on sales worth 1 million Kenya shillings and above, and it stands at 1%. Now, Kenya Kwanza wants this tax applied on sales from as low as 500,000 Kenya shillings. The tax is being raised from 1% to 3%. The taxation will be pegged on gross sales, whether the seller makes profit or not. The biggest casualties here will be small, medium, and medium-sized businesses. Those businesses are the heart of the hustler nation. They are struggling. The same businesses are already being taxed by counties. Our stand is that this tax should remain at 1% and should be applicable on sales of 1 million shillings and above. 2. Income tax adjustment. About 4 things currently stand out in a payslip of a typical employee in Kenya, whether in the public or private sector. There has been no pay increase in the last 5 or more years. At least a quarter, sometimes up to half of the salary, is consumed by taxes. Much of the salary is consumed by all sorts of loans. Much of the salary goes into the funding dead institutions like NSSF and NHIF, which in the end do not serve the needs of the employee. Now, unilaterally, Kenya Kwanza wants to raise the taxes from the current 30% to 35% on those earning 500,000 shillings and above. Direct taxation as a means of raising money usually has unintended consequences. The shock will be felt down the chain. Typically, a single payslip supports entire villages and communities in Kenya. As Kenya Kwanza reduces availability of local disposable income, it is inadvertently reducing local demand for goods and services. It leads to more unemployment and more desperation. We will be instructing our members of parliament to oppose this bill's proposals. 3. Housing fund. Unilaterally, Kenya Kwanza wants to deduct 3% of basic salaries to finance affordable housing scheme. How the regime arrived at 3% and not 1 or 2, nobody knows. In an economy where employees are already faced with reduced income due to high cost of goods, we find the introduction of this new tax irrational. It further reduces the amount of disposable income available to the economy.